Here is at Ekpe. We are heading to Ekpe right now, and we have our battery life at 90%, which is on target. That's where we should be. We should be at 89-90% at this point on the journey. So we keep going. We have a long way to go. We see how the mileage goes along this long road trip with an electric vehicle here in Nigeria. So we'll keep you posted. Keep following. Now here at Ijebu, turning to the main expressway, and we still have our battery life at 82%. At this point, we expect to be at 80%, so we're doing very well. So we're 82% at Ijebu bypass. Now we're heading to the main highway, to the Ore end before we turn in towards Ondo State. So we'll keep you posted on the trip, on our progress on this journey, and how it goes with our calculated mileage and actual. Keep watching. Thank you. All right, we're still here on our way from Ijebu towards Ore. On the way, we got turned around by customs officers, and we lost about 2% capacity doing those turnarounds because we didn't know they were the ones stopping us. But we've done that. They checked our documents and we're good to go. So we're still on the way, and right now we have 74% of battery capacity, and we still have some way to go. Our projected capacity at Ore is 43%. We anticipate that we'll have 43% capacity left by the time we get to Ore in Ondo State. So we keep you updated as this goes. All right, we're still on our way heading out to Ore, and we're doing okay. So at this point, we have 66% battery remaining. So we are still trending well. We expect Ore should be at 46%. So let's keep it going. And another less than 30 minutes, we should be at Ore and turning towards Ondo State, which is our destination for this particular trip. So the road from here appears to be very good, and we are just taking our time. Welcome. All right, so we, after many stops along the way, of course by police officers and Nigerian customs officers who are checking our documentation, now we are overlooking Ore in Ondo State, just ahead of us, and it's been an amazing journey so far. We're approaching Ore right now, and our percentage, in spite of the 2% we lost on our way while we had to turn back for checks, we still have a healthy 49%, which is 3% higher than the 46 that we have projected. So which shows that the real life efficiency is quite good. It's quite good. We are getting what we are projecting. And here at Ore, we will then make our turn to the left side of the road, which is will take us then to Ondo Town and subsequently to other places in the area. So welcome to Ore, driving electric all the way from Lagos with the BYD Tang, and we have 49%, which is about halfway battery power consumed, setting out from Ibeju Lekki area of Lagos via Ekpe to Ijebu, and now at Ore, and still heading towards Ondo and beyond. So here we are, 49% battery life against 46% projected. it spiked of 2% capacity lost in the process of making a turnaround somewhere along the way. So this is good to see. Of course, at every major stop, we get a lot of interesting comments. We also stop to educate many of the officers about how the electric vehicle works. We show them the charging station, we show them the inverter up in front, and we also answer their questions around the challenges with electrification in Nigeria and how this is the future. The infrastructure is needed along the highway corridors to enable our transporters embrace electric models for their various long distance vehicles, and that is going to be a very beneficial choice because it's going to be a cost saver. Charging is cheaper than fueling right now in Nigeria, and the maintenance costs are also much lower compared to what you would do with transporters that do regular trips across interstate. So this is our second interstate trip. Actually, we've done one before to a shorter location, but this is our first long distance interstate trip with the BYD Tang. And here we are, going straight will take us to Benin, but we are turning right now in order to head in the direction of Ondo and inner areas of Ondo State. So we'll keep you informed as we continue our journey all the way to our desired destination. So again, battery life remains at 49%, a very healthy 49%, again higher than our projection, so which shows that we are doing very, very well. Our projections were conservative. We expected to be at 46% at this point in the journey. We've traveled largely under 100 kilometers an hour. It's been good. So most of the time we've been below, all the time we've been below 100 kilometers an hour. Of course, we have air conditioning running all through. AC is at the first level. There's no compromise on that. And yeah, it's been a good journey. So keep up with us. We'll keep you updated with our progress on the rest of this trip. Thank you very much. Welcome with us on this journey. Now we're at Ondo. This is Adeyemi College of Education. Adeyemi College of Education in Ondo. So we projected to be here with 33% battery life. Let's see what we have. And we still have 36%. We have 36% in Ondo. So we have that margin of extra. That means we'll get to our destination around 30%. So this is Adeyemi College of Education in Ondo, and we have some minutes more to the end of this journey, and we'll report at the end of the trip what our total mileage has been and how much battery life we have used to attain it. This is Ondo Adeyemi College of Education. So finally got to our destination here at Ile Oluji in Ondo State, and here's the final check. We got 31% remaining against 29% projected. If you factor the fact that we started at 98% instead of 100, and we lost another 2% along the way, so that's about 4% extra that could have been on top of this on this particular trip. All in all, it just shows that electrification is practical for transportation in Nigeria, both local in city and also on the highway with proper planning. We'll keep you posted on our experience on the return trip. Thank you. All right, so right here at my location, and charging is currently in progress, even though it's very slow, very slow. I'm still making arrangement to charge at a faster rate. So charging right now is doing it at 15 amps, 16 amps, and with that we expect 16 hours to full charge, which is a long time. 16 hours to full charge. But by the time I connect the 32 amps charger, this will be a shorter time. Instead of 16 hours, we'll be talking about 8 hours. So it's a beautiful Saturday morning here at Ile Oluji. Just to give you an update from our charging yesterday. Yes, we were able to connect to a faster AC charger of 7 kilowatt capacity, 32 amps, and that gave us some charging from we were at about 30% here yesterday. Now we have 86. We have 86%. There was public utility supply through the night till about 1 a.m. Before it was taken off at the hotel. Of course, the smaller generator they have is unable to provide the charging power that we require to charge effectively. So, but at 86%, we definitely have more than enough to get back home tomorrow. From our arrival statistics, we consumed about 70% total, less than 70% across from here to Lagos. So it means we have about 10% plus to play around with within town if we don't charge again at all, and we'll be good to get back home. But of course, if we have the opportunity, we are likely to pull the plug in and just try to charge again. We've also been doing some recordings on the vehicle itself. We have a memory card that's doing the video recording of some of the experiences we've had on the road. So general ideas around how this works. You're thinking about taking an EV and you are concerned about your ability to take it on a long distance trip. So the strategy is to confirm the location, which usually will be a hotel, whether it's large or small one. Let them know you're coming with an electric vehicle. Before you know it, in Nigeria, it will be standard. It will be a new standard feature, as it is in other places in the world, to have destination hotels have provision for charging for electric vehicles. It's going to become more popular. And check with them that you're coming with an electric vehicle and they don't need to do anything extra. A hotel will usually provide power, right? If your hotel is not providing power, then it's not a hotel, I think. So with the power they provide, so you will say, oh, how would you charge the car? It is charging. The power demand is not that significant in the scheme of things. It doesn't have to be a very fast charger. So you arrive in the evening, you plug it, and by next morning your battery is full. In our case, if there has been a consistent supply, the hotel is primarily dependent on PHCN, and that PHCN itself is not very regular. But even from the irregular supply, we've been able to charge up to 86%, which is good for us. For a proper hotel that has its own diesel backup generator, that's just give you another 7 kilowatts or 3.5 kilowatt or even less, and it doesn't do anything significant to their power system, and there's no running around. You come in the morning and you have a full charge. So it's indeed very practical, very feasible to set out on a trip like this and get power out into the vehicle and then head on to your final intended destination, or be able to head back to the original starting point. So by tomorrow morning we will be heading back on our way to Lagos, and we'll also check how much power consumption it takes us to to get back into Lagos. So that's been our journey, and the total distance from Lagos, from our destination or location origin in Lagos to this place is about 270 kilometers altogether, about 270 kilometers. So, and our projections against how much total we can cover with this electric vehicle has proven to be in line with what we observed based on our driving around in Lagos. So it's a BYD Tang, and it's ready to go. Absolutely. It's been raining all through the night to the morning, and the weather is just cool. Thank you. So here is the starting point on our second leg, and we have just 98%, just like we had when we were leaving Lagos. So we were able to charge overnight at the hotel to 100%, and we spent about 2% moving around town here in Ile Oluji in Ondo State. We're heading straight to Lagos via Ondo to Ore, to Epe and Ijebu and Epe. So we'll see how the power consumption goes and how it compares to our original trip while we were coming. We expect it to be very similar, and we expect about 30% level by the time we get to our destination in Ibeju Lekki. So please keep up with us, and we'll keep you updated. Alright, this is a cool afternoon on our return trip from Ile Oluji to Ondo, and now we're at Ore. And we started out at 98% battery, just the same way we had, how much battery life we had when we left Lagos on our forward trip 2 days ago. This time our remaining battery life is showing 81%. We have 81%, which is right on track with what we've calculated it to be at this point on the trip. So right now we're hitting the main road from Ore towards Lagos, and we will be turning in at the Ijebu to Epe highway. So here now linking up with the Ore Benin Ore Expressway, where we will then continue to monitor mileage performance, comparing it to what it was when we were taking the forward leg of this journey. So again, we have 81% left on the dash, which is in line with our estimation. So we'll keep checking as it goes. Thank you. Okay, so this is on our return trip. Now we're at Ijebu, the bypass crossing into Epe. Just overlooking the bridge right ahead of us, and it's been so this part of the trip had some traffic. So there's something that happened. We spent maybe about 15-20 minutes extra in that traffic. Of course, when the road was good, we also traveled at a slightly higher speed. But right now, in spite of that, we have a current consumption at 48%, battery at 48%. Our projection for this point is 47%. So, in spite of those factors, we're still doing good. So now we're going to turn into side of town, which is to Epe, the road from Ijebu to Epe, and from there we head to Ibeju Lekki area of Lagos. So driving all electric from Lagos 2 days ago and driving back all electric to Lagos from Ondo State. And this is the experience. Here's the view of Ijebu from the top of the bridge, and it's still the BYD Tang, and we will keep an eye on the performance as we go. Thank you. So here's our closing video on this trip back in Lagos, at the exact spot where this journey began, and we are down to 24% battery remaining. So that is 3% below the calculated consumption expected of 27%, and we saw that consumption tickle up in the last part of the trip, and I think I have an explanation for it. What's different between this first and the second journey? First, on this return trip from Ijebu, or even before Ijebu, somewhere in the middle from Ore, it became quite sunny. The environment got hotter, and of course also all through the trip the average speed was higher than on the forward leg of this trip. When we were going, speeds were mostly within 80 kilometers an hour, occasionally above 100. But on this return trip, it was mostly at 100, occasionally at 120 or a little above. And so it looks like a combination of the environmental temperature, and of course the higher environmental temperature required the use of higher setting for air conditioning. So I believe these factors affected the eventual outcome of the consumption we see on the return leg on an exact journey being some in a significant way higher. The forward leg, we were about 5%. We saved 5% relative to what we calculated. But on this return trip, we spent 3% more than what we estimated. So that's about 8% of battery capacity variance. That's for exactly the same distance covered. So that's some significant number. So it tells me that especially speed, I expect speed to be the main culprit here. Traveling at 80 kilometers an hour and having multiple stops along the way on that forward path helped us to have an overall average speed that's much lower. Whereas on the return trip, the side of the road is better. Speeds were mostly in the 100 to 120 kilometer range, and we can see the impact on battery life. So a very good lesson for electric vehicle use. Highway numbers are higher, give you a higher consumption compared to city driving, which is what every manufacturer would show on the data sheet or on the specifications of every model, which is the opposite of what you will get on a typical gas or diesel vehicle that will give you better mileage on the highway compared to the city. So overall, we just demonstrated that electric vehicle for interstate travel is feasible with proper planning, knowing what to do at your destination, where you can plug to charge, and how much distance that will take you, and how you can use that to get back to your origin. So here's the conclusion of this series. We put some analysis in the end notes so that you can see the comparison between the two the two trips covering the same distance of about 230 kilometers, but having a better fuel consumption on the forward part compared to the return leg. So thank you very much for watching.